Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cornerstone SMP. We are here in the center of the Nether hub, and as you can probably tell, it's currently being reworked. The main idea is that we will have 4 diagonal tunnels leading to everyone's portals, and then here in the middle, in this kind of center hall, every member of Cornerstone is supposed to put their face. So let's do that just for the beginning of the episode. I'm currently Gandalf Nellis, of course. I have been for a while, for a few months. I haven't had my actual original skin. So I'm gonna put the Gandalf face in there for now. I don't actually know how long I'm gonna keep this skin, maybe actually until the end of the season. But if I do change back to my normal one before then I can of course just change the face in the Nether hub as well. It's not that big of a build. But let's see, it obviously has a lot of grey, you know, because of the beard. I think I'm just gonna mainly use concrete and terracotta. That should probably cover most of the colors that we need. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty accurate to the hair color. That's a light gray concrete. What else do we need? Definitely skin color. I'm gonna go with, I think, white terracotta and then the blue for the eyes, of course. And there we go. Gandalf Nellis has been added to the wall. I think that looks cool. You know, I put it next to the tunnel, of course, that leads to my base. Because I do feel like the Nether hub is a bit confusing at the moment, at least for me it is. I'm starting to get used to the new layout for sure, but I think making these heads at least kinda in the area where the actual people's bases are also helps a lot. So handsome. Last episode I built this bee and frog house, you might remember, and for the last few days I've been looking for some bee heads because I really like, you know, some bees on the outside to kind of indicate what we have on the inside, and just also as decoration. And Decisive was nice enough to give me 6 bee heads.
Nellas!
Hello!
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Ah. Okay, I got 6 for you.
That is awesome.
And
Thank
I
you.
forgot that they don't drop 1-to-1. Oh no, I don't need it.
Wow, you chopped away so quickly. Are you sure?
I saw the diamond. I needed it to get away. I'm diamond phobic. Do you have a beard?
Yeah. Do you like it? Oh my gosh.
I forgot that there was still a floor here.
It was because the beard is so impressive, right? You fell down.
Yeah. It kind of blew me away with its longliness.
Yeah, I think that's a good word.
Oh, are you like Matt's wizard or something like that? Is he the
is
hobbit?
a hobbit at the moment, so it kind of works out that way, I guess.
So I forgot that bees and like mobs don't drop heads 1-to-1. Yeah, so I killed like a few bees and then I realized that they don't drop it 1-to-1, so I was like, oh, I have to kill more. I felt so bad killing the ones that I already did, but...
Well, thanks for doing that for me, I guess.
Yes, of course. And be safe because we have to work on the Nether hub a bit more.
Now it really looks like we have a swarm of bees outside the house. The bee heads are definitely one of my favorites in the data pack. I also already used them for decoration last season because they really just look like the mob, right? It just looks like you have bees flying around, but they don't fly away and they can't die and they can't sting you. It's perfect. So that's the last, I think, finishing touch to this build, unless I think of something else, but it does look finished to me. I want to again move on to a different part of the base, as I often like to do, you know, switch things up. And for now that is the Dwarven Kingdom. This isn't going to be a big build, but more of a little detail that I'm pretty excited for. So you might remember how Chuckles gave me a bunch of dwarf heads to replace those pillager heads down in the cave. And he also gave me all these, you know, the heads of the 7 dwarves and Snow White from the fairy tale. And I've been wanting to put them in as a little Easter egg somewhere in our Dwarven kingdom. So let's finally do that. I don't think I've shown you this, but I put in fires here, kinda hidden, you know, kinda peeking out of the rock, to illuminate this tunnel, to get rid of that torch spam that I really hated. And I'm finding that a lot cooler than I probably should. I often forget about fire and using that as a light source because it doesn't often work, but here I think it really does, and also makes for a nice atmosphere as you're walking down the tunnel and you hear the little crackling of the fire. But here we are in the kingdom. As you can see, the pillagers are all still here, and there we have the dwarves with their new faces. And I think I want to put the 7 dwarves and Snow White down here in this lower city that we built recently, because I really like it. Like, I love walking around in here. It's so tight and detailed out in the streets, that is. So it feels really alive as you're walking around the city, but then whenever you look into a building, it's just sadness. So with this new little project that we're doing now, we can change that for at least one of these buildings. And I think this is my favorite spot in the city down here, this little plaza. And I'm gonna take this building right here. And, you know, it goes right into the rock, so I can dig out as much as I need to fit them all in there. This room is going to be the kitchen/dining room. I brought in a little bit of granite to bring in color, you know, break it up a bit, and also it just goes really well with the oak that we also have here in the ceiling. And I need to figure out how to put in a table here that seats 9 people, right? No, 8 people. 7 dwarfs, 1 princess. I don't want to make too big of a room because it is still a dwarvish household, right? But it does need to fit quite a bunch, like a big family. Yeah, that doesn't really work. I think we need to make it a long but really slim table, and then maybe just have alternating seats on the side. Okay, something like this might work. 7, 8. Yeah, I think that seats actually exactly 8 people. Let's give it a little more support though. It doesn't look like it actually would hold up a lot. Or maybe we can even use like stairs like this to not have a full block, but it still looks like a full block, but also it's kind of like moved to you know, onto half a block in reality to break up that full block pattern on the floor. Yeah, that works. A dining table needs chairs, of course. I was thinking these oak slabs, but that looks kind of bad, doesn't it? Because it's, yeah, it like, there's no space between the chair and the table at all, which looks super uncomfortable. But I have an idea what we can maybe try. And that is a campfire. Yeah, see, that leaves a little gap between the wood and the deep slate. And it does also look like a little stool that a dwarf could put his butt on. And these campfires also have a much more rustic look than the oak slabs do, so yeah, there we have it. 8 little chairs. Now let's just put the backs on them. That already makes it look really cozy, I think. Yeah, I love that idea of campfires as chairs. That works great. In the back we have a little kitchen corner. The more I'm looking at it though, I don't really love how symmetrical those are, like herbs, right? Like, I don't know, oregano or something like that you can have in your kitchen. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's bring in a little bit of storage up at the top. There we go. I think that's a good kitchen. I really like using pufferfish as a kitchen decoration because it's, you know, similar to the bees like we talked about earlier. It just looks like the full animal, and it's also just a really funny looking one. Let's actually get rid of the radio. That feels kind of weird in a dwarvish household. Instead have some more light. Yeah, I think that works. A little time jump. I did now finish the interior. So as we walk in, you can just immediately tell this is a mining household, right? You have pickaxes on the wall, and then this shelf with some ores and an amethyst crystal. Of course, the dining room you've already seen, and now we have this kind of, it's a really messy looking staircase, but I think it works really well with the environment of the rustic small old building. Under there is just a closet, you know, some storage space under the stairs. And then if we walk up, we get to the bedroom where we have, of course, the 7 beds for the dwarves, and then Snow White's sleeping corner. So what's left to do now is putting in the inhabitants. I'm gonna go with Sleepy first. Makes sense that he's gonna sit in the bedroom, right? And as you can see, I already made leather tunics for all of the dwarves, trying to match the color of their hats as best as I can. So what we need now is pants and of course armor stands. Oh wow, okay, that actually looks a lot more like the dwarves from the old cartoon than I expected. That's awesome. Yeah, with the pink nose and the colorful little heads, that's awesome. So here's an idea that I don't know why I didn't have it earlier, but we can make these small stands, right? Like normally you would use those if you want to make children, but these are dwarves. I left all the other armor stands kinda in the same size as, you know, the normal player. Oh my gosh, look at that, it's like a gnome. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I think I'm gonna leave the rest of the armor stands here in the mines normal size as well. Because we do have the pillagers and their normal size, etc. It's just a bit messy otherwise, but I think it's cool if we have the 7 dwarves from the fairy tale as little gnomes, basically. And then you can really also see the size difference between them and Snow White later. And that is Sleepy done. He's just getting out of bed. He's still stretching and yawning. You will have to imagine the yawning though, I can't make that happen sadly. There we go, lock him, and yeah, let's move on to the next one. Grumpy will be sitting in the little closet under the stairs, all by himself because he's grumpy. Let's go with Dopey next. I'm having Sneezy sit on one of the chairs, which kinda looks a bit too big for him, now that I decided to make them, you know, the small stands, but it'll be fine, I think. And I did have Dopey here on the stairs, but I want to actually change that. So I'm just gonna grab the head and shirt, because we can have another dwarf take that place. And I wanna have Dopey running around on the table. Feels more in line with his character, I think. Happy can be walking down the stairs. I think that should work. There we go, also very adorable. He does look like he's happy. There's Dopey now making a mess on the table. That's definitely a much better placement for him. It's already filling up this area with the little dwarves. Only 2 more left, and then of course Snow White. I want to put Doc here next to the shelf with the ores, because I feel like he would be already doing some work, you know, inspecting some of the crystals or whatever they found the day before. Maybe polishing an amethyst, we can say. I love his little glasses, that's adorable. I keep saying it's adorable, but it is, look at them. The last dwarf left is Bashful, and I want to put him on the outside of the building. He's already leaving for work, so the idea is right, it's the morning, the dwarves are getting ready. Bashful is the first one out. And I want one outside because I'm always thinking about what if a person comes to my base and explores, right? That's what I want the base to be, like a place that you want to explore. If you're walking down around the lower city here in the cave, you will quickly see that most of the buildings are empty, at least for now. I don't have much hope it will change, but then if you get to this little spot, you will see something new. You know, you have these gnomes, different from the rest of the dwarves that you've seen in the rest of the cave. And you can see that this one is clearly walking out of this specific building, so I'm hoping that that kind of encourages the person coming by to actually look inside the building. It doesn't make much sense, right, to put so much effort into an interior and then have no way of really enticing people to even look at it. With that said though, it is finally done. The 7 dwarves and Snow White have found their home. There you see them all on the inside, and there's also Snow White. She's waving at you just as you get in, and yeah, Grumpy in the closet, of course. I think that's Happy on the stairs, right? And upstairs, there's Sleepy. He's the last one to get out of bed in the morning. The others have already finished eating. He's just waking up. This isn't a big build, but as I said before, it's a really small detail that adds so much to the big build that we already have surrounding it. Yeah, it just made me really happy working on this, actually. Yeah, it's kind of like therapy, building something adorable like this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this as much as I enjoyed building it. And of course, a big thank you to Chuckles who gave me the heads. I don't think I ever would have thought of this idea myself. So thank you. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!